This is another New Black World Order TV Productions. Chopper. What's happening, family? We're talking about who is the 85%, right? And we want to get a little deeper into our understanding of what this cage is, right? We want to talk about that C. And that word is cognitive dissonance. Okay, family? If you already know what that word means, you already understand the function of the word within the realm of the mind. But if you don't, I would like for you to go look that word up. Cognitive dissonance. The 85% suffers from cognitive dissonance when it comes to the dogmas, right? When it comes to the dogmas, right, that they have been placed under, right? They have one thing going on in the subconscious mind, and they have another thing going on in the conscious mind that are diametrically in opposition to each other. So they continue to encage themselves based upon their thinking. On one instances, they are taught that Jesus is Lord, Savior, right? And they are placed in front of an image of a white man. On another instance, they see men dressed up in white clothes with a hood, and they readily identify that as white supremacy. But they can't tie the two together because there is a cognitive dissonance. On one cognitive level, you don't like white supremacy. But on another cognitive level, you like, worship, adore, and have given your heart, soul, and mind over to Jesus Christ. Where the church is teaching you white supremacy, and the Klan is offering you white supremacy, but you reject the Klan but accept white supremacy in the form of Jesus Christ. The 85% are easily led in the wrong direction, hard to lead in the right. They take everything that the 10%, the bloodsuckers of the poor, who taught them lies, right? Who taught them to believe in white supremacy, encased within the Trojan horse called Jesus Christ. Then they are taught, right? Romans 13, where it says obey the government. And if you obey the government, you are obeying God. And if you disobey the government, you are disobeying God. What type of mind fuckery is that? On one end, the government enslaved you. But on another end, you are obedient to Jesus Christ because you have to be obedient to the government. Isn't it so? Isn't it right? Have you identified the cognitive dissonance where you have two opposite opinions about the same subject, white supremacy? Again, you got to look at the percentages, right? You got to look at the percentages of the demographics of the population. We have a small percentage of people teaching white supremacy via the church, right? Because if you believe that that white man named Jesus is the supreme sovereign God, Lord of the universe, you are in fact just elected the Ku Klux Klan as the king of your soul. Isn't it so? Isn't it true? If you can just think about it, you can rectify the cognitive dissonance that's within your sphere of thinking. You can have a subconscious understanding that match your conscious understanding. You do not have to have a mind that is in opposition, that's fighting itself, right? So let's get it in. Again, we're talking about the cage of ignorance. We're talking about the cage of low self-esteem. We're talking about the cage of the loss of identification. Who are you? What should you believe? Should you believe what 85% of the people believe? Is 85% of the people going in the right direction? We can see clearly that they're not. So action starts with thoughts, then it motivates